Math 2, second semester final review. If you guys will please change that 13. It should have been a 14. I don't know if anybody caught that. Going over questions from this section here. Unit 10 and 11. So it looks like I did quite a few of them with you. I went over the increasing, decreasing, and most of you guys remembered how to do this when I talked about it last week. Next page, any questions from this page? I did a few of them with you, talked to you about how to do them. Questions? Anybody needs, really quick on the exam, you will need to know the quadratic formula, all the formulas we've used. The only ones I will be giving were the 3 that were up on the board when we did the volume unit. The 3 volume formulas. Got it? All right. Questions? Quadratic formula, complete the square, factoring, no questions? Yes. One with the quadratic, most definitely. Okay. I'm going to do letter G, only because I can see it's not one that I would want to complete the square on, and it doesn't look factorable. Did anybody do G already? Did anybody do G and was able to factor it? Okay. So, again, you'll need to remember the quadratic formula. I'm going to add it to the back where I told you guys to write some stuff that you will need to make sure you write on your final. Quadratic formula. Quadratic formula is used to solve quadratic equations. And quadratic equations, I'm going to show you right here. This is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, and I'm going to change that y to a 0 because that's when we're solving. And you use the a, b, and c for the quadratic formula. Does anybody have it memorized? I'll start you off. X equals negative b plus or minus square root of b what? B squared minus or 4ac, good job, all over 2a. Fabulous. All right, study it. How many of you learned it as a song or heard it as a song? All right. Questions on the quadratic? Okay, let's flip over to the... Okay, you can see those on my desk. Thank you. All right. Back over to where we were. I am here. All right. What is A in this problem? What is B in this problem? 5. And what is, oh yeah, not up here. And what is C in this problem? 1. Okay, guys, please stop. X equals opposite of B. What is B in this case? Plus or minus the square root of blank squared minus 4 blank blank all over 2 blank. All right, what goes in the first blank squared right here? 5 minus 4 what? 2, 1 all over 2 times 2. Okay, negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 25. Ignore the negatives for now. What's 4 times 2 times 1? 8. Put your phones away, please. 8. Now, is it going to be plus 8 or minus 8 if there's only one minus sign here and nothing else? Minus. If there was a minus 4 and say that was a negative 1, what would it become? Plus. Okay, all over what? All over 4. Now, I'm going to clean up the inside. 25 minus 8 is something we can calculate. Plus or minus the square root of, what do you get for 25 minus 8? 17. All over, what was it, 4? Now, I'm going to pause here. Don't erase yours, but if this were, say, an 8, don't erase yours because I'm going to put it back the way it should be. Would it be okay for me to reduce these? No, I have to do what here? I have to break down and take out any numbers, and then if I can reduce, I do. So let's say I was here, there was nothing to break up, nothing came out. Can I reduce? No. If there were a 2 here, or 5, or I'm sorry, a 4 or 6, like there was a 6, could I then reduce everything by 2? What if that 6 were a 5? Could I reduce everything? No. You have to find something that goes into all three numbers at the same time. All right, what was it? -5 plus or minus root 17, and can't go any further because 17 does not break up. This is your final answer. Got it?
Yeah.
And everyone knows how to work with the I. What's I squared equal?
1.
Be careful, you're very close. What is it? -1. All right. Let's flip over to the next page. Questions here. Here's some more quadratics. Here's complete the square. Anyone need review or help on 7, A, B, C, D, or 8?
D.
And this should be 8, not 32. So what was that?
D.
This one right here?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, no one needs help on completing the square. We're good there? Okay. Letter D. What is A? I heard somebody whisper too. What is B? And C? Okay. X equals the opposite of B. What goes here? B squared, so 2 minus, this number is a number not up here, 4, and then AC, well, so what would that be? 2, 5, all over 2 times 2. 2A. All right, -2, because it says up here, and then, up there, solve, so we're going to do that now. -2 plus or minus the square root of 4. I'm going to ignore the signs for now. I'm going to go this way. 5 times 2 is what? 10 times 4? 40. Will it be plus 40 or minus 40? Minus all over what? 4. Okay. As tempting as it is, should I reduce the 2 and the 4? No, I cannot, because that plus or minus means it's attached to this radical. I can't reduce little bits and pieces. Unless it was multiplication, then I would be allowed to reduce. All right, -2 plus or minus the square root of, what's 4 minus 40? Negative what? All over 4. Can I clean that up? What's the square root of positive 36? So what's the square root of negative 36? 6i. -2 plus or minus 6i all over 4. Now, kids, what do I change I to? I stays I. I by itself is just I. Can I combine these two? Are those two like terms? The -2 and the 6i. They're not like terms, right? Can I reduce? The 2, it doesn't matter if there's an I there, an I or a radical or an X, it all works the same. 2, 6, and 4. Is there anything I can reduce all three by? 2. So divide everything by 2, top and bottom, every little piece. And what do you get? -1 plus or minus 3 what? I all over 2. And there is your beautiful answer.
I think what's confusing me is the I part. I'm not really good with the I.
Yeah, you want to make sure. No, I squared's -1, but I by itself is just I. Yes. Can you repeat your question? Yes. Okay. Any others? Down here? Up here. Okay. I'm going to do B. Fill in the correct numbers for solving by completing the square. Okay. First keyword here, set of keywords, is completing the square. Completing the square is where we do plus blank on each side. Do you guys remember that? Yes, so what's the first thing I do here? Move over the what? So x squared minus 16x, I'm going to leave some space, equals 17, and then I put plus blank on each side. Now, who remembers how we find the number to fill in that blank? Anyone volunteer, raise their hand? Yes.
Square root of 16?
Okay, we cut the negative 16 in half, and you're saying square root or squared? Squared. Okay, so you take the middle number, cut it in half, and square it. What's negative 16 cut in half?
8.
Negative 8?
Yes.
And negative 8 times negative 8 is 64. Now, I messed up on one of my signs. I got carried away. Does anybody see which one it is? Yeah, that should be a what? Okay. This side, I simply add what's 64 plus 70 plus 17? Anyone? 81 equals, and then here is where you factor. Now remember, when you factor, these two numbers have to be the same. What multiplies to 64 that adds up to negative 16? 5 and 5, 6 and 6, 8 and 8, plus or minus minus? How do we know it has to be minus? We know they have to be the same. Why is it minus minus? Because it has to add up to negative 16. All right. X minus 8 quantity squared equals 81. It does ask us over here to eventually solve. Before I do that, do I have the numbers to fit into these two shapes? What goes into the rectangle or the square shape here? The what? 8. You don't have to say negative 8 because they already put the minus sign there for you. Sessa, I need you listening. I bring this up because on the test, when we did this unit, I remember a lot of kids asked, like, I put minus 8, should I put a negative there? Well, look in the middle. Did they already put the minus for you? Then don't worry about the minus sign. This is 8. What's on the other side? 81. Okay, now solve. What do we do to both sides to solve? Square root. X minus 8. Jackson, I need you paying attention. Can you please move your desk out a little bit so I can see your desk better? Thank you, and put your phone away. All right. So, square roots and squareds undo each other. X minus 8 equals 9. Where did I mess up? Good job. And then what do we do to get x by itself? Add 8. So you end up with x equals positive 8 plus or minus 9. Will that give you two answers?
Yes.
Two whole numbers. What's 8 plus 9?
17.
Comma. What's 8 minus 9?
Negative 1.
Do I put parentheses around those two numbers?
No.
No. If I did, that means x comma y. Is that what this is saying?
No.
No, these are two x values, two separate x-intercepts. Just so you remember, if you did want to put as an ordered pair, what would it be? 17 comma 0 and negative 1 comma 0. You don't have to. But if it's a multiple choice test, and remember that this is the same as this. Any questions? Number 8. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this one's going to take some work. Are you guys ready? I need everybody paying attention if we're going to do this one because it's going to take some time. Okay. They didn't give us anything to fill in. Actually, I can do it down here. I'm going to do the vertex first. What's the vertex? Negative 4. And then what? 2. Which way is it opening, up or down? If it's opening down, is it going to have x-intercepts? Yes or no? Yes? Since they're asking me specific questions about my graph, I do need to be specific about my graph and not just draw a rough sketch. How do I find x-intercepts? I plug 0 in for what letter? I make y equals 0. 0 equals negative 1/2 x plus 4 squared plus 2. I want to get the parentheses by itself, so what should I move over first? Plus 2, and I move it over by adding, subtracting, or dividing? Subtracting 2. Take your water bottle. No. All right, what's 0 minus 2? Equals negative 1/2 x plus 4 squared. Okay. We're still trying to get these parentheses by itself. How do I get rid of that negative 1/2 in front? Add, subtract, divide, multiply. Divide by negative, be careful, divide by negative 1/2.
Oh, yeah.
But do we want to divide a fraction, put a fraction in a fraction? Multiply by the reciprocal. So dividing by negative 1/2 is the same as multiplying by negative 2/1. Is that still going to reduce? What's negative 2 times negative 2? X plus 4 quantity squared. Now we've done all the hard part. What do we do next? Okay, I heard one person answer. Does everybody, put your phones away. Does everybody agree with him? Those of you that could hear him, what did he say? Square root. Remember, square roots and squares are inverse operations. They undo each other. What do I get on the left side? Plus or minus 2 equals, and to get x by itself, I subtract the 4. So I get negative 4 plus or minus 2. Negative 4 plus 2, what's negative 4 plus 2? Comma, what's negative 4 minus 2? Negative 6. I'm going to draw my axis of symmetry over here. I'm going to go left 2, 1, 2. Okay, and then 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Knowing what we know about parabolas, they have to be symmetrical. If that's the vertex and these are my x-intercepts, does it look symmetrical? Yes? Okay. And then here they give you some points. You do the best you can to plot what you can. X is 0, y is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 0. 2, negative 3. 3, negative 4. 4, negative 3. Where was I at? 5, 0. And 7, 12, which looks like it might be off the graph, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even though that last point is off the graph, do you have enough points there to make your parabola? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, go ahead and draw. And then do your best to answer those questions. Okay. The maximum value of k, let's actually go through and label. This one's m of x. Nope, I lied. This one is k of x. And this one is m of x. Do you guys agree? Okay. The maximum value of k of x greater than the minimum value of m of x. Do you guys remember what they're asking about when they talk about value? Is it the x value or the y value of the vertex? It's the y value. If they ask for the max or minimum value, it's how high or low you're actually going. Okay, so what is the maximum value for the k function? 2. So they're asking, is 2 greater than, what's the minimum value? What's the y value here? Is that true or false? True. The value of x when k of x is at its maximum is greater than the value of x when m of x is at its minimum. Now they're asking about what specific point of your max and min. It tells you in there specifically the what? The value of x. I'm just going to find this point right there. Can you guys tell me what it is? 1, 2, 3, -4, comma what? 2. And this one over here in blue is what? Positive 4? 4, -3? 1, 2, 3. Did I say it wrong? 3, -4. Did I flip them? 1, 2, 3, 4. I did. Okay. 3, -4. Do you guys agree? Yes? All right. Earlier we compared the y values. We compared the 2 and the -4. Now what are we comparing? X. So the value of x when k of x, that's -4, is at its max is greater than, so I write the greater than symbol, the value of x for this function over here. What's the x value over here? Is that true or false? Is -4 bigger than +3? What is it? False. And over here, your justification, you can actually write that. 2 is greater than -4. Here, -4 is not greater than +3. Both x-intercepts for the m function are greater than 0. Here are my x-intercepts. Are both of them greater than 0? Yes or no? Am I on the right function? This one here? Here's 0. What's this x-intercept? 1. What's this x-intercept? 5. Are both of those greater than 0? Yes or no? Yes. The line of symmetry for the k function is x equals 4. This is the line of symmetry. Is that x equals 4? Yes or no? No, what is it? X equals -4. So what would I say, true or false? False. Justification, it's x equals -4. The y-intercept of the m function is greater than the y-intercept of the k function. Now, I don't know the y-intercept, but do you agree it's going to be down here somewhere? Yes or no? Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just pretend it's -6. Is this y-intercept up here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is this +5 bigger than whatever this negative number is down here? Even if we don't know what the negative number is +5 always going to be bigger? Yes. And you justification, you can say looked at graph, used the graph. Questions? Okay.